Hey guys, Chris from Provo Beast Audio Installation, and today we're doing an unboxing of this Crux radio wiring harness adapter for select BMW vehicles. In this unboxing, we're going to get this kit pulled apart to show you how you can effectively use it in select BMW models to retain factory steering wheel controls while installing a brand new aftermarket radio. Let's get started. Okay, so as we get started, before we get the harness pulled out of the box, I do want to call our attention to the back here. Now, Crux has conveniently listed out all the years and models that this harness applies to, and what's really cool about this harness is it actually includes two versions of it. In the event you have a model year that fits this plug, or a model year that fits this plug, this kit will work with both. So just kind of keep that in mind as you plan your install. Now, if you want to know 100% if this fits your year, make, and model, go to cruxinterfacing.com and use their vehicle fit guide to check your fitment. Now, we'll also include all this information in the description below. Now, again, like I said, what's really cool about this harness and sets it apart from just a regular wiring harness adapter, comes with a pre-programmed interface to retain your factory steering wheel controls. Let's go ahead and get this now pulled apart.
This video is sponsored by Crux Interfacing Solutions, an excellent location for radio replacements, camera interfaces, and more. Check out cruxinterfacing.com to start planning your next install today.
Alright, so with everything pulled out of the box, first and foremost we have the two versions of the wiring harness adapter. So again, if you pull out the radio, you can use one or the other. That'll actually plug right on in. We have our brain module. The module here is what allows us to retain our steering wheel controls. It comes pre-programmed, and we can select which radio we're using by simply adjusting the dip switches here on the back. Comes with the steering wheel control harness. This is super important. Don't lose this, because this is what's going to go from our module through this harness to the radio. So looking closer at our instructions here, first and foremost, it retains factory features with the steering wheel control to an aftermarket radio, which is really cool about this kit. It does not retain the factory amplified systems with the DSP or digital sound processor, so you'll have to check on the radio itself if the radio has any DSP type button or logo. Keep that in mind. This harness won't work to retain those steering wheel controls. You'll need a different harness. It's color coded, so basically can match up color for color to your chosen aftermarket radio. Generally speaking, it's about 90-95% of the time. Again, it goes over what's included in the box, two versions of your harness, steering wheel control cable, and the main module. And what's really cool here at the bottom is it actually outlines and diagrams each color for the wiring in the harness itself, so you can match that up with your chosen aftermarket radio. Now again, you're not going to use both harnesses. You're going to use either one or the other. You'll plug that chosen harness into the module, and then the module, using that steering wheel control cable, will connect into your aftermarket radio using the designated dip switches that basically tells the module what radio you've chosen to go with. Now, flipping this on over on the back side, looking at those dip switches, like I said, we have to select them on or off depending on which radio you go with. So for example, if we're installing a Pioneer, we find it in our list, it's on the top one, so the dip switch configuration number 1 through 4 is going to go off, off, on. And then the secondary 5, 6, 7, 8 switches are all going to be off, because again, this is just for a BMW. There's really no other variations that we need to worry about. So again, 5, 6, 7, and 8 appear to all need to be off for this kit. So again, if you have a JVC or a Clarion or an Alpine, again, that's your dip switch configuration. Now, if you have a radio that's not listed there, or if it's a generic and this doesn't necessarily plug right into the back of the radio, you can follow this 3.5 millimeter cable diagram here, where you cut this end off, you strip the wires back, and wire them manually into your chosen radio. So kind of keep that in mind. Now again, it reiterates what's on the back of the box here, all the years and models that this pertains to, so kind of keep that in mind. So again, check out cruxinterfacing.com if you want more information to see if this kit works for your car. Plug and play unit, essentially here, this will plug directly into the plug back behind the radio. This end on your wiring harness will plug into your smart harness here. Plugs right on in. And again, these wires go to your chosen aftermarket radio. You'll just wire them generally color for color, following the diagram here as well. Same thing applies to the other version of the harness. Same thing, this plugs into your smart module, this wires to your aftermarket radio's wiring harness. Now keep in mind for your steering wheel control cable, this looks like an aux, but it's not an aux. What this does, it goes to the WR input on the back of the radio. That's your wired remote input. Basically, the signal from our module for steering wheel controls goes through this cable into your steering wheel control input and controls the radio when pressing those buttons. Super important that you hook this up, which is the main function of this module here. Now, this blue wire that hangs off here, this is actually for Kenwood's and JVC radios. If you have a Kenwood and JVC, you won't use this end, but instead you'll use this wire, and this will match up to the blue-white wire in your radio's harness. So that's about it for this unboxing. If you want to see this in action, we're going to be using this harness on a Series 3 BMW here. We're going to be installing an aftermarket radio while retaining the steering wheel control buttons. If you want to check out that video, we'll have the link in the description as well as a card up above. Well, that's about it for this unboxing. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit the like button. We appreciate that support, and don't forget to subscribe. We post great content here on the channel all the time. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next video.